Hey everybody, I hope I don't lose signal. I was going to do a video from Sanibel today, but gracious Sanibel Island doesn't want to look at ugly fish, so they're cleaning up all their fish every day. I don't blame them, I wouldn't want to smell it either. So we're going to take the boat out to the mouth of the river. We just left the house about 2 minutes ago. And we've already seen about 30 dead fish. There's not much algae up in this part of the canal. Hey Eric, hey Chris. So to start off, for all the people that aren't down here in Southwest Florida, I live in Cape Coral. And we're having a massive fish kill right now caused by red tide. And red tide is natural. It's completely natural. Happened for as long as recorded history in the US. There's reports of unknown fish kills even before there was all the industry along the Gulf and the East Coast. And we get red tide every year. It's part of it. Usually it lasts for a few days, a week, goes away. Well, since I've moved here in March of '04, when Hurricane Charlie hit, it has progressively got worse because they let water out of Lake Okeechobee. And they have to or the dam will break. So the problem with that is there's toxins in Lake Okeechobee, and you can't just say toxins. It's an algae. It's called blue-green algae. It's in every freshwater body of water in the US naturally. There's no problem with that. The problem with it coming out of Lake Okeechobee is when it dies. And when it dies, it releases phosphates and nitrates, which is what fertilizer is made out of. The reason why there's so much of it in Okeechobee is because the phosphate and nitrate levels are so high. For a lot of reasons. One of them is Big Sugar, and they're just a part of it. So Big Sugar is pretty much anything that you buy at the grocery store that says made with pure cane sugar. There's about a 90% chance that it came from Florida sugar. Well, when they fertilize their lands, there's runoff from the rain, and it leaches into the system, and all their water after they irrigate goes into these ditches and canals, and it gets back pumped into Lake Okeechobee, all their excess water. So basically, we just fertilize all of Lake Okeechobee. And it's kind of like your bloodstream. If you get an infection in your bloodstream, it flows throughout it. So on top of Big Sugar back pumping and not facing any fines, we have the whole Kissimmee River system that goes from Orlando south. And if you've never been to Florida, Orlando is about a 3.5 hour drive from here. And it's flowing out right here 100 feet from my house. So we're gonna go out here to the mouth of the river and show y'all some of the devastation. If anybody's got any questions, I'll scroll through all the comments and answer what I can. The issue here is our industry is, what, Zach, about 90% tourism?
Yeah.
So we've got all the beach hotels, all the resorts, all the people that own homes here as vacation homes. All those people come here and spend money. On top of that, there's people that are retiring or buying second homes down here. But those people are seeing all this on the news. So they're not coming down here on vacation. They're not looking at property to buy here. And it trickles all the way down to even our service people that work in the restaurants and the bars. Not making as good at tips.
Sorry.
Guys that are making a living washing boats. If somebody's not using their boat, they're not washing their boat. All our marine service industry, the fishing guides, the charter captains. I know of 2 charter captains right now that are still fishing. One caught fish yesterday, and he had to fish artificials because there was no bait to be had. And I give it to him. He went out there and stuck it out, and he actually had a pretty good day. But there's dead fish right now. There's a snook right here on the top swimming in circles that I could grab. It's dying as we're going by. He's right on the surface. He's suffocating.
Let's go grab him. Show Facebook the live video of it.
I don't want to go grab him because it's against the law. Because snook season's closed and I don't want to get charged for harvesting an animal.
Really?
One thing that we have that a lot of the world doesn't have is manatees, and they're dying left and right. Matt Marshall, I said I wasn't going to answer any questions, but yes, I will bring that up because you messaged it to me. Matt Marshall, for those of y'all that don't know, he's a young guy that I met when he was like 10 years old. He'd come down to the marina and fish all the time. This kid, eat, sleep, live, breathe, fishing. His mom said he's not allowed to go fishing anymore because the rest of the summer he went to the beach and went out on his little Ginu, which is a little Florida skiff, and he's got a rash all over him now from just going out fishing. I had my kids all summer, and Dad, can we go to the beach? Nope, we can't go to the beach. It's toxic.
It's got something that's eating.
We got an osprey right here sitting on a piling, and he's eating a dead fish. Now he's ingesting the bacteria. So what it all comes down to is all this nitrates and phosphates that flow in and road run off the whole city of Orlando, all of Disney. All the river system below that is cattle and farm country, and that all flows into Okeechobee. Then it settles on the bottom of Okeechobee, and we get these big storms mixed with the back pump from Big Sugar and many other farms, along with cow manure, dog waste, animal waste, septic tank overflows, goes in the system. You're fertilizing blue-green algae. Blue-green algae is not harmful in fresh water. When it gets mixed into salt water, it cannot survive and it dies. So when the blue-green algae dies, it turns right back into magnified nitrates and phosphates. And we're fertilizing red tide. So we've been on the boat since about 2 minutes before I started this video. I can feel it in my nose. I can feel it in my throat. And it fucking stinks. We got a high tide. We got a south wind, which is not good because now it's blowing all this stuff up the river. I can't say I want to see all the dead fish out here because I don't. But I do want to see it to show other people. When I'm done with this video, I will set it public so it can be shared. We're in a slow zone right now. We've got to idle for a long time. And, you know, it sucks. I spent 20 hours driving over the last 2 days. I had a lot of time to think about this. And some of y'all watched my live videos, and you could see that I was pissed off. So far, we've passed a handful of small dead fish in the canals, croaker and catfish, and that pretty decent sized snook that was dying slowly. And I'm far from being a tree hugger. I'm all about go out, catch their own food, fishing, deer hunting, all that, spear fishing. Pretty much anything in the outdoors as long as you're not destroying stuff. This is disgusting. I don't know if any of y'all ever smelled a chemical where you could feel it in the back of your throat, like acetone or rubbing alcohol or something like that. But that's what it feels like right now. You can feel it. Right now we're in the mouth of the Caloosahatchee. And what's funny is right now where we're at, because the tide changed, so it pushed stuff around, it looks just like any other day. It doesn't look like anything's wrong, except I see no wildlife. I don't see any birds in the water. There's always cormorants throughout this whole area. There's always seagulls here. There's ospreys diving for fish. And I see zero wildlife. Nothing. Except for dead fish. I haven't seen a live fish. You always see mullet jumping. You see bottlenose dolphins. You see manatees. during the thing they had at Cape Coral Yacht Club yesterday, while they were having the meeting. Oh, there's another dead fish. While they were having the meeting, somebody towed a dead manatee into the boat ramp. There was a living manatee with it. There's a dead trout right there. There was the living manatee with that dead manatee. It was its baby. And it was hugging it. And they had to physically separate them to put the dead manatee in the trailer. So let that sink in a little bit. That's not just a fish, that's a mammal. And you know, people can talk shit, tree hugger this, tree hugger that, all you want. A manatee dying. All of us bitch about all these manatee zones everywhere. If this keeps up much longer, we won't have a use for them. You know, I've complained about manatee zones because I got to slow down in the summertime and it's hot. Here's you an idea, guys. And somebody said the other day, oh, it's just a catfish. Okay, it's just a catfish. Still a fish. My kids love catching those things from the dock because it's something to pull on. There's one dying right there. What those catfish are to our ecosystem is not any different than a garbage disposal at your house. They clean up all the dead organisms. You know, we got guys that bitch about catching catfish and stingrays. You don't have to worry about that anymore. They're all dead. I'm trying not to cuss so more people will watch my video. Somebody suggested that. Because then you can't watch it in front of your kids if I'm dropping a bunch of F-bombs and all that. So I'm trying not to cuss. But by the time I'm done with this, it might not be PG-13 anymore. But if you look around, it doesn't look like any other, you know. It's beautiful Caloosahatchee River. From where we're at right now, it doesn't look like there's anything wrong. That big condo building right there, that's the Westin Hotel at Tarpon Point. My house is about 1.5 miles past that. You know, we got the mouth of Matlacha Pass right there. This is the slow zone at the mouth of the river. We got a floating bait shop out here. I doubt anybody's spending any money there. There's another small business down the drain. We got another dead fish floating right there. Another dead fish floating right there. So we're just now coming into where all the nasty stuff is. Oh, you smell that?
So
God. So it's ugly.
I swear I didn't fart.
Zach, I swear I didn't fart. If I farted like what it smells like right now, I would go to the doctor.
Blue crab dead.
Dead blue crabs. You know, more dead fish. There's dead pinfish. Here you go, guys. Here's a prime example. We're getting them looking it out there. There's a big, pretty good sized pinfish and an eel. 2 eels. We're in a tide line right now, so this is the stuff that's getting pushed in and out. And right there, that's Mark Sparrow. There's one of the charter captains right there. He's trying to make a day of it. Guys still got to make a paycheck. Think about all these guys that make their living right in here. Oh, I lost my damn connection. Okay. So think about all these guys that make a living right in here. That's what they do. They fish all this whole area for a living. Now they don't have a job. Think about the hotels, and I'm not talking Holiday Inn. I'm talking mom and pop owned businesses. I guess this guy just said to hell with the manatee zone since they're all dead anyways. That right there is probably a tourist that has no clue that he's in a slow zone. But you know what? Our community makes money off of him. He came here and spent $1. We're coming up on another tide line right now. Oh, dead baby snook. So we're gonna idle down this tide line. And this is by no means an example. It was way worse than this earlier. We're starting to get in, seeing some bait fish. We got eels. I didn't even know we had eels in the river. So if it's killing these guys, we got eels and catfish are some of the hardiest stuff there is. And they're dead. There's a big dead mullet. Well, you know what? All you mullet fishermen, all you commercial fishermen, maybe y'all should get involved with this too. You're not gonna have a mullet season. Share this video, get it out there. You gonna bring your kid to Florida on vacation to play in this? Everything white you see on the screen is dead fish. Dead fish, dead fish. More dead fish. It looks like there's a bunch of styrofoam pieces floating out here. All this white is dead fish. And we're not even to the bad part yet. We're not even out of the mouth of the river. All this dead fish. More dead fish. There's a mile of this crap. So, there's dead flounder. Dead flounder. You know how long it's been since I caught a flounder here? More dead fish. More eels. More crabs. More dead fish. And who cares if it's not fish we eat? A lot of these aren't fish we would eat. All my friends that are watching from Texas, y'all be ready. Here's a frogfish. Now these things are really cool. They don't swim, they walk along the bottom. He's dead. He gone. Another big shrimp eel, another croaker, puffer fish. So these are all the smaller fish that live in the mouth of our river. Our river is an estuary. Everybody in Texas, they're getting ready to build a huge pelletized plastics plant in Portland, Texas, between Corpus Christi and Rockport. So, if they're not making a sugar company, government not making a company pay their fines, what do you think they're going to let Exxon get away with? Cowfish. Those are interesting. So that's just in the slow zone. No game fish yet, thankfully. I'm trying to decide which direction I want to go. Hey Warren, what do you think about this? You like going out there and catching redfish with your kids? Wow, that is a big eel. That's a kind of moray. That's a speckled moray. Never even seen one here. Got a big fish over there. And we got people coming down here. Been coming down here for years. Never seen anything like this. It's the worst I've seen it. We got You know, I couldn't tell you how far upriver this is gonna go. There's a big oyster toad. You know, sand brim, cowfish, puffers. It's funny because we haven't seen any game fish yet. Actually, I've seen a couple trout. Another flounder. Another flounder there. A lot of people say, oh, these are the fish that don't matter. All these fish matter. They're all food for something. I had no idea we had this many eels here. Well, we don't anymore. They're all dead. Now here's a little grass strip stacked with fish. Pinfish, eels, catfish, trout, catfish. And I said I was gonna bite my tongue, but this is fucking gross. You know, we make our money off of tourism. People want to bring their families here to go on vacation. Oh, let's go to Florida. Another mullet.
Smells worse.
Let's go to Florida on vacation.
It smells worse than the Upshur Harbor.
This is disgusting. And we hadn't even seen a bad part yet. You know, all those white dots you see on the screen, that's all fish. With trout. Let's head out to the mouth of the river and see what's washing in from the mouth, because we got the tide pulling in really hard right now. The downfall of that is we didn't have the red tide in the river. We have a wind out of the south and a heavy, heavy incoming tide because the moon's so big. So guess what? This tide's coming in the river. Everything in the river is going to die now. So, guys that have been fishing Matlacha, good luck. It's probably done. Wind blowing out of the south. My house is right over there. I live here because this river's in my backyard. What can we do about it? Share my video so more people see. I did a video yesterday and a friend of mine shared it and somebody commented on it. Fake news. Well, here's your fake news, motherfucker. We're gonna go out here to the mouth of the river. We're gonna idle through the slow zone. We probably won't see much going through here. Matt Marshall. We can turn piss into drinking water. Oh, Patrick Mirville. We could turn piss into drinking water. Why are they not cleaning this prior to releasing it into our waters? Well, the reason why they're not cleaning it is funding. Well, that's the answer we got from the Lieutenant Colonel from the Army Corps of Engineers yesterday. You know, it's the system they want to build is basically a giant sand filter, like a sand filter for a swimming pool. They want to build a big holding container. And it's about $1 billion, and we need 3 of them. So if we need 3 of those, we need $3 billion, right? Another solution, send it south, send it south. Everybody wants to send it south. I agree, send it back, make the Everglades wet again, send it south. But what's going to happen when we send it south and the Everglades die? It's toxic here. What's it going to do if we send it south? You know, there's not all the people down there. You know, there's not many people live in the Everglades. And a lot of people say, why not just hold it in the lake? Well, the dam on the lake is trashed. They've been working on that as long as I've lived here. And it's still not fixed. So maybe we need to get the Army Corps of Engineers off their ass. They can build the Hoover Dam. It's how tall, how wide? Holds back how much water? But we got a dirt pile holding back a lake in Florida that gets hit by hurricanes every year. Makes no sense to me. And for everybody that just wants to send it south, people live there now. So it wouldn't be any different than sending it east or west. So if we send it south, for one, we got to buy property to send it south. I don't know why we can't claim eminent domain. Oh, that's right. Big Sugar's a government subsidy. They own part of that. So why can't we just take the property? Use it as a reservoir. My question is, if you hire someone to build a seawall or do construction along a shoreline, you have to put a boom up. Just like you see at a marine accident and there's an oil spill, they've got to put a boom around it to contain the oil. So why can't we put booms up in Lake Okeechobee where the water's spilling out and use the booms to catch some of the blue-green algae before it gets here? Why don't we get some of these skimmers that they used for skimming oil after Deepwater Horizon and skim the blue-green algae? We're not going to get 100% of it, but it's got to make a difference. You know, why don't we outlaw this? Why don't we outlaw that? Why don't we do this? I'm one voice. One voice. Over 400 people heard my voice yesterday. My buddy David, which is one of the few guys that actually got to talk at the meeting yesterday, got his voice to over 100,000 people in 24 hours. You know, I love when people come down here. Oh, did you see those dolphins? Did you see that manatee? Did you see that bald eagle? Usually right here I can see 10 dolphins at one time. I don't see one. No. That pristine mangrove shoreline right there. That's gonna feed off this stuff great. And we got a boat full of family over there. I wouldn't want my kids breathing this crap. But what's this gonna do to our local economy? All the way down to the guys that build boats. I know our boat salesmen are gonna be hurting. I know our boat detailers are gonna be hurting. Every fishing guide in town is pretty much unemployed. You know, and everybody's like, oh, get a different job. What's he gonna do? What about mullet fisherman that's done nothing but mullet fish his whole life? His whole life, that's all he knows how to do is catch mullet. What's he supposed to do? And you got guys like Al Colbin, he builds boats for a living. Their production's cut down by about 80% right now because the only boats they're building are ones being shipped to Georgia. They're not building any boats. They go to any local dealerships because nobody's selling boats here. Got Captain Nate Sklorenko, Les Achilles, no trips, canceled. You know, we got a bunch of other guys. You know, John Conway, David Menace, all the Sanabo guys. I'm just naming guys that I think of. No, this is what they do for a living. This is their paycheck. What are, you know, when Deepwater Horizon blew up, BP paid a bunch of people. You know, people all over the state got checks, all over the country got checks. Who's gonna pay these guys' bills? Yeah. Upriver, East Fort Myers along the river, we started cleanup. Well, that's like cleaning blood off the ground if your arm's still bleeding. You can do all the cleanup you want. If you don't bandage the wound, there's just more blood. I can't believe there's absolutely, there's a cormorant. A cormorant just flew in front of us. Hey Zach, a bird just flew in front of us. And somebody, somewhere, there's got to be somebody that can help us besides the people that are already involved. You know, CCA speaks of coastal conservation. Haven't heard a peep from them on the whole deal. Where you at, CCA? You know, we hear about, oh, my company donated this much money. My company donated that much money. There we go. Oh, mullet, big sail cat, baby catfish, more shrimp eels, more mullet. Funny part about mullet, they're a filter feeder. They eat microorganisms an ounce, but they can't even live in this shit. And we got another tourist over there that doesn't know he needs to go slow. That whole tide line's all dead fish right there. So we got a big fish floating up here. I think it's another big mullet. Could be something else. But everybody needs their voice heard. You can help with that. You can share this video. Some people won't watch it, it's so long. Oh look, there's one of our prize fish. How about a slot redfish? Dead. Are you gonna bring your kid down here on vacation? There goes this redfish. Another dead catfish. Look over there at the shoreline, man. This is disgusting. You know, I always tell all my friends when I'm talking to them on the phone or messaging back and forth on Facebook, yeah, come to Florida, I'll take you fishing. Looks like I don't have anything to fish for anymore. You know, we need to reach out to these bigger companies that are involved in the fishing industry. What about some of these boating companies? We got Grady White, Boston Whaler, Regulator. There's even companies bigger than them. Can they get involved? Probably not. They're probably scared of the politics. We got fishing reel manufacturers. What about Pure Fishing? They own about half the fishing industry in the U.S. You know, Penn Reels. Why don't y'all come up, step up to the plate? This is gonna hurt all of y'all. Nobody is selling any fishing tackle right now. Look at all that right there on the shoreline, man. So, everybody that's crying fake news, oh, we got a big fish floating dead over there, but we can't get to it. There's an oyster bar in the way. It's heartbreaking. This is what I love to do. Come out here, fish, relax, and it's annihilated. This is as bad as any chemical spill you can think of. There's just nothing floating on the surface. It's all caused by oxygen depletion. So pretty much every single one of these fish suffocated. The big redfish over there. You know, we got turtles nesting on the beach right now. So sea turtles are swimming into this crap to lay their eggs on the beach. And then the little ones got to swim out of it. They're all dead. I wish I could get the numbers on how many dead bottlenose dolphins and manatees there are right now. There's a dead snook right there. know, I've got a lot of friends that aren't in outdoor stuff that I grew up with, and we grew up running around doing all this stuff, and they're just not into it anymore. It's not their thing. You know, we got government officials that are just looking the other way. You know, Trump was in Tampa yesterday for I don't know, some Trump rally. Maybe it should have been brought to his attention to come down here and look around. He's probably too busy. But you're all about bringing jobs back. What about keeping jobs we already have? Got some shorebirds down there eating the dead fish that are washing up on the beach. They're probably gonna be affected one way or another. This sucks. That whole shoreline's just dead fish. I'm gonna get off of here. We're gonna go find something outside the mouth of the river. And we're gonna go look around some more. See what we can find. I'll come back live in a few minutes.